Hey guys, what's up? So today we're going to be looking at this specific case with triangles and it says here, there are times when you are not given the perpendicular height of the triangle, but you are still expected to find the area of the triangle. In this case, we use the following formula, right? And this formula, guys, is known as Heron's formula, okay? So obviously a guy with the last name Heron more than likely figured this out on his own, right? So it says here the area A is equal to the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, where S is the semi-perimeter of the triangle, okay? So S is actually equal to ABC divided by 2. So it's actually the perimeter over 2, okay? So let's look at this example here. We have an acute triangle where all the sides are the same and all these angles are less than 90 degrees, as we can see. And we're told to find the area for this triangle. Okay, so to find the area, the first thing we have to do is find S, which is the semi-perimeter. And we should get 7 plus 7 plus 7, and this is in centimeters, divided by 2. Okay, so actually gonna end up with 21 divided by 2 in centimeters, and S should be equal to, right, S should be equal to 10.5 centimeters. Cool. So to find the area now, all we have to do, guys, is the area would be equal to the square root, right, of 10.5, right, which is S, multiplied by 10.5 minus minus A, which is 7. And this would also be the same thing because the sides are the same in this example. 10.5 minus 7 again times 10.5 minus 7. All right, guys. So we would actually end up with the area being the square root of, all right, so we end up with the area being the square root of 450.1875, which would actually be 10.5 multiplied by 3.5 multiplied by 3.5 multiplied by 3.5. Okay, so all we have to do to find the area now, guys, is to find the square root of this. So we're just gonna put that in our calculators. Okay, all right, and we should get 21.21. All right, guys, so this should be 21.21 centimeters squared. Okay, and that should be the area. Okay, so you can actually find the area, guys, without the height. Okay, you don't have to use the half base times height. You can use the 3 sides to find the area and the semi-perimeter. Okay, and notice here it says, note briefly, the right angled triangle is not usually used in this case because one side usually represents the perpendicular height. Okay, and that really makes sense. So let me give you an example down here. If we had a right angled triangle, that's usually how it looks, and let's say this is 3, 6, and 9, right? It wouldn't make sense to use 3 here, right? It really wouldn't make sense because we already have the height. We could use half base times height to find the area. So we wouldn't have to use Heron's formula in that case. So this question is more directed towards the acute and obtuse triangle, okay? In those cases, you would more than likely want to use Heron's formula if you don't have the height. Okay, so if you don't have the height, guys, if you're looking at a triangle and you don't have the height, you don't have this perpendicular height here, don't get mixed up and say, oh no, I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. All right, guys, you're equipped. You have to remember this formula. Use Heron's formula in that case. Okay, so you know how I am. I love to do 3 examples. So let's look at 3 examples. All right, guys. All right, guys. So we're looking at Heron's formula now. Okay. Remember, this is also called Heron's formula. Okay. And we're going to look at 3 examples where we're just given the sides. We're not given the perpendicular height, and we need to find the area. Okay. So for the first one, we're going to try to find the area. All right, guys. So for number one, the first thing we need to do is find S, right, which is the semi-perimeter. And S is equal to A plus B plus C divided by 2, which in this case is 6 plus 5 plus 4 divided by 2. Okay, so 6 plus 4 would give us 10, plus 5 would give us 15. So S ends up being 15 over 2. So S is equal to 7.5 centimeters. Okay, all right, so now we need to find the area. Okay, and the area is equal to the square root of S times S minus A times S minus B times S minus C, right? So we're going to end up with 7.5 here multiplied by 7.5 minus 6 multiplied by 7.5 minus 5 multiplied by 7.5 minus 4. Okay, so A should end up being the square root of 7.5 times 1.5 times, let's just draw this a bit longer, times 2.5, right, times 3.5. Okay, so we're going to put all of these in our calculator now, and we should get the square root of 98.44. Cool. So let's find the square root of that, and the answer ends up being 9.92, and this is in centimeters squared. Okay, don't forget to put it in centimeters squared, guys. All right, always remember that. All right, so let's just clean this up here and put the answer up top. All right, so the area is equal to 9.92 centimeters squared for that question. All right, guys, so we did number one. Let's move on to number two. Okay, and we are going to do the same thing. The first thing we're going to do is find the semi-perimeter, which is going to be 11 centimeters plus 9 centimeters plus 5 centimeters. And we're going to divide that all by 2. Cool. Man, that M not looking too great. All right, 5 centimeters, and we're going to divide that all by 2. And we should end up with 25. 11 plus 9 gives us 20. Plus 5 gives us 25 centimeters over 2. And that should be 12.5 centimeters. Cool. All right, so now we need to find the area. Cool, and we're going to use Heron's formula, which should be the square root of 12.5, which is S, right, multiplied by 12.5 minus A, let's choose 11 as A, multiplied by 12.5 minus B, let B be 9, multiplied by 12.5 minus C, and let C be 5. Okay, so we should actually end up the square root of, with the square root of 12.5 multiplied by 1.5, right, multiplied by 9 minus 12 would give us 3.5, multiplied by 5 minus 12 would give us 7.5. Okay, and in total we should get the square root of 492.19. Okay, so when we find the square root of this, we end up with the answer being 22.19. Okay, and that's the answer, guys. Cool. So we finished with number 2 here. So let's just put that neater over here. The area is equal to 22.19 centimeters squared. Cool. All right, guys. So for the last one here, we're going to find the area. Okay, and in order to find the area, the first thing we have to do is find the semi-perimeter. So we have to say 3 centimeters plus 4 centimeters plus 5 centimeters all over 2. Cool. So S is going to be equal to, we're actually going to end up with 12 centimeters over 2, which is equal to 6 centimeters. All right. So we're going to use find the area using Heron's formula. Okay. and it should be 6 centimeters, okay, multiplied by 6 minus 5 centimeters times 6 minus 4 centimeters times 6 minus 3. Okay, so we should end up with the square root of 6 times 1 times 2 times 3. Okay, so we actually should end up with the square root of 36. Yeah, we should end up with the square root of 36, and we already know that the square root of 36 is 6 centimeters squared. Okay, guys, so that one was pretty easy. Okay, 6 times 2 times 3, square root is 6. Yes, this one was really easy, guys. All right, so we see that if we don't get the perpendicular height, then we can find the answer, guys. We can find the answer using Heron's formula, and pretty simple, not too hard to understand. All right, guys, so that's it, and I'll see you in the next lecture, and remember to do your best, and God will do the rest.